I'd
like to delete the flock camera and add the taser and ready to go.
Taser and radio, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Flock
Under claims and transfers, I would like to add item G, USA Blue Book, invoice number 183554. And then I would also like to add item H, Ross Renovations. It is a change order under claims and transfers as well. Does anybody have anything else? No? Looking for a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Thank you, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, approval of our October 10th, 2023 regular meeting minutes. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And this brings us to claims and transfers.
From the general, $460,532.98.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Thank you, all in favor?
Aye.
I'm sorry, who made the motion originally? Bryce?
I think we were tied, but I just seconded.
Okay, thank you. From water, $71,197.67.
Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Thank you, all in favor?
Aye.
From wastewater, $69,211.04.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, second.
Second.
Thank you, all in favor?
Aye.
From payroll, $54,728.96.
Motion.
Thank you, second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Then the Baston Logan invoice, number 18728, in the amount of $3,355.
If there are no questions in regards to that invoice, would somebody like to make a motion in second?
Motion.
Thank you, second.
Second.
Thank you, all in favor?
Aye.
Haywood's Auto invoice, number 38828, in the amount of $1,794.04.
If there are no questions in regards to that invoice, looking for a motion in second?
What was this for?
If you scroll up, or scroll up,
This is one of yours,
is that our SRO card?
That was the water pump.
That was the new one? Or
No,
was it
no.
the new one, the black one?
That was the one I originally, when I come down here, it's my old.
The Explorer.
Yeah.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Thank you, all in favor?
Aye.
Then the two additions, the USA Blue Book, invoice number 183554, for the amount of $2,787.50.
If there are no questions, looking for a motion in second?
Motion.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the change order from Ross Renovations for $825. This is not in your packet. This covers $600 is the change order for the doors, which I told you about in an email. And then when we were cleaning up in there, we found an intercom system that we had the guy install in Jason's office, so he has access visually and different things to see. And so he installed that for us as well. So that brings the total to $825 above what we originally contracted with him.
And that's for the renovations here?
Yes.
There are no other questions, looking for a motion in second?
So moved.
Thank you, second.
Second.
Thank you, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, Adam, brings us to you.
Okay, on the taser, we're looking to get an extra taser. They've upgraded in the last couple of years. The ones that we currently carry are gonna be obsolete in a few years. They're asking that everybody go to the new Taser 7s. We're short one for the department as is. I gave you all a quote of what it is, and they'll be giving us, with that package, you get extra cartridges. So it should be enough to satisfy several years' worth of duty. And then our plan is to rotate on a yearly basis, one or two, as the monies come in and is available. Rotate one or two of the X26s out and replace them with the new Taser 7s. But at this current time, we're just asking to replace one. And then they'll give us a box. In that quote is a box of the cartridges that go with it.
And where would this money be coming from?
It is operating supplies, is that what we're talking about?
It's the one,
Okay. Yes, it's coming from operating supplies, because of, the department wasn't fully staffed, and so we saved money on fuel at the beginning of this year, and so they have quite a bit of money left in their operating supplies.
Is this on top of the money that was, I think it was roughly about 10,000, that was given to the police department, not given, but I'm saying that very loosely, to the police department during our budget meetings as well?
that was, I believe that was the 10 that was not able to be used until January 1 that he's talking about.
This is in this year's budget.
Mhm.
Yeah, so this is their operating supplies for here, I'm not quite sure.
So I'm talking about the $10,000 that would, I want to say gifted, but it wasn't gifted to the police department.
It was leftover from last year's budget, as we.
Oh, the
you know,
leftover
have
from
you did the-
2022, that's gonna be, no, that's for next year.
Has-
This is strictly what's, yeah, we're not touching anything of what we talked about in the budget meeting. This is strictly this year's budget and what's left of it.
Okay.
And that's from fuel savings from.
Yeah, yeah, for the most part, they have, let's see, in their operating supplies, they have about $17,500 left. And all we have is, you know, tiny bit in November and December. They'll have like, I think, one more fuel bill, which is typically about $2,500 to $3,000. There's a couple other little items that will come out of there, but yeah, there's plenty of money in there.
Thank you.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The next thing is the handheld radio. Handheld radio comes with a mic, programmed. We're currently at full staff on our radios. So if we have anything that goes wrong with one and needs repair, we don't have a replacement. We'd like to bring on another radio, another handheld to have an extra, just in case something happens to one of them that we need to send them off for repair. And since we had a little bit left in our operating, we thought this would be a responsible purchase for us.
And is this something with adding the extra SRO and stuff, is this something that one of the schools should be responsible for part of it, or no?
No, this is gonna be, one of our merits will take possession of this, to be honest, one of our road deputies.
No.
It won't be used at school.
And then whatever the one your merit was using will become the backup
And
then?
it becomes a backup that sits in here in case a reserve needs one, because the reserves don't take home their current radios. So they come in, I'd like to have at least two sitting in here. Rick's getting one back, so that'll give us an extra two to have in here, because right now we can't have any reserves out because we don't have a car or a radio.
We don't have a car.
We're working on cars.
Okay, they're getting repaired, but we
Correct.
do have a car.
We do have a
We just
car.
don't have the radio.
one of them's in the shop, so that immediately makes the reserve car a merit car.
Well, no, I know that, but like, once that's out of the shop, we will have a reserve car, we just don't have a radio.
Correct. Correct.
Any other questions? No? Would somebody like to make a motion?
Motion.
We have the money in the budget, I'm gonna second that.
This is coming out of the same we just
Same.
talked
Yeah,
about,
extra
correct?
surplus.
So Greg, you second that?
I do.
Thanks. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The Chili Fest, I know it's a few weeks late, but first time we met since then. Chili Fest was a big success. The town of Cloverdale, the local businesses, the local people in town supported us very well. We're very appreciative. We're able to get some new uniforms for some of the new guys, some new equipment that has been much needed over the past few years. So we appreciate everything that you guys done and helped out with it. Everybody had a hand in it. Thanks, Jason.
Anything else? Okay. Thanks, Adam. Jason?
Wellhead protection plan. This is, Richard had made contact with Eric Smith about what is called phase 2 of wellhead protection plan, and that we apparently have to have done by the end of this year. I can't really answer a whole lot about what I know what wellhead protection is, but I don't really know what the difference is between phase 1 and phase 2. This happened while I was gone last week on vacation, so this all happened while I was gone. I sent this to Kelly last week, I think it is, but I don't think it's on that contract, in the packet, though, correct?
I added it to the packet.
Okay,
So it's in there.
Okay, it is. So, but it was a not to exceed $5,000. I have not spoken to anybody else about this. But it is something we need to get done before the end of the year, apparently. It's a 5-year, I believe it's 5-year plan that you have to have in place. Much of what they do with the wellhead protection is guaranteed. If you all know where our wells are out east on 42, there are certain things you cannot do around your well. You can't obviously build structures, or the farmer's not allowed to use certain chemicals on the field around it and such like that. So there's just a plan they put in place, and they develop an area around it and determine, and then Richard is, as the operator, is responsible for making sure no violations of any of that wellhead protection.
And is this something we're contractually bound to HWC on, or no?
No.
I would like to get more than one quote.
This was an hourly.
My motion would be to get a couple more quotes, and then revisit next meeting.
I think this is hourly and not to 6.
It's hourly and not to exceed amount.
But we can absolutely do that.
You said we got till the end of the year on this?
Yeah, I don't know what kind of time frame we need. I'm sorry I'm not prepared for it. And I actually spoke to him today too, and I could have asked him, and I just didn't. I'm sure we've probably got time. I don't think that's, if it's only $5,000, I can't imagine it takes a whole lot of time.
Yeah.
So, but I'm guessing most engineering firms can do this. So anybody that's in water and wastewater, that feels.
I'd just like to see another quote, just to make sure everybody's good.
What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I'd like to see one too.
Is there a second to Bryce's motion?
I will second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The next thing up is at the last meeting, you asked me to contact someone about the tree removal on North Main Street. I think I talked to Greg about this. He recommended I talk to Mayhew. Scott Mayhew. I don't think he's here tonight, but he did come out. He gave a quote to remove those trees. That is in your packet as well. I asked him to quote it as taking out the trees, removal, and the stump removal. There are 7 trees that we kind of identified that are between the curb and the sidewalk. All seven of them are doing damage to the sidewalk and do need to be removed. I hate removing them because they are pretty, but there's just not enough space, grass strip between the sidewalk and the curb, and they probably do need to be removed. With that, he also gave me a quote to repair the sidewalk in the places that need to be, the sidewalk that needs to be repaired. If it's as a result of the roots underneath it pushing it up, the sidewalk's just gonna have to be taken out and repoured. I also had a gentleman, and I think that puts in there as well, that would be able to do what they do call, it's called slab jacking. If you remember, we did that to the back ramp back here, where they can come in. And we've got several places in town where he would be able to come in, and that's a situation where it's settled and it's gone down. What they do is they'll put a slurry underneath it, and it raises that up to the current height. That would be substantially cheaper. We could do quite a bit more, and he had a quote in there for doing basically 1 day. Obviously, we don't know how much or how far we get with 1 day's worth of work, because you don't always know how much fill is gonna have to be underneath, all that, but it was very interesting what he had to say. I showed him not only North Main Street, but some of the side streets as well that we could fix. And if we do decide to go that route, I would like to start on North Main, or at least the ones that we could start, do the slab jacking, and just hire this guy for the entire day and do some of these side streets that we can do as well.
The slab jacking, what you said is in the packet?
Yeah.
It is not, the slab.
Oh, I don't
It's
think
not
so.
in the packet, no.
So what,
I'm sorry.
what is that? The quote.
But I don't know, I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry, I thought that was in there.
I got questions on May use codes as well, Jason.
As do I.
So are we just, are we just gonna accept one quote? Do we reach out to anyone else?
The last meeting, we were just, I think was just a discussion, we released
Put
that
the feeler out.
Okay.
to see what kind of costs we're gonna get. We can go back and get bids if we want. It seems like every time we do this, the same result
Well,
happens.
My concern would be, we've got tree roots, so I'm suspecting that most of that is sidewalk panels that have come up, not gone down.
Yeah, where the trees are, there's no doubt, that concrete's gonna have to be replaced.
Yeah, no, I know that. I guess I get your point. We went over and over with this, that we put it out for bid, we still only have one bid. But if we just automatically accept the first bid we got, I don't think we're doing a service to the town, so. I'd like to know what slab jacking was, but I'd also like to at least reach out to some other, to get a bid.
Well, what, did you find the slab jacking quote?
I'm sure. I'm sorry, I thought it was in that.
And I would be curious to see just how much a day's worth of slab jacking gets us, because they've got to drill and pump, and I don't see a lot getting done.
Didn't they do that out here on ours?
In the ramp and stuff.
And how long did it take them to do that?
I think it's going to be totally variable on how much
Seems like
they have to
were there
move
a couple
stuff.
days at least, just for that part.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know that we're gonna get a lot of slab jacking for 1 day's quote.
Right.
But you don't drill concrete and level it quickly.
No, I fully agree with Jason's point. We've done it over and over where we put it out for bid and still we only get one quote, but I don't feel like we should just go with the first quote.
Hey, Jason,
Yeah.
for the sake of time, let's
Come back to this?
let's table this until December's meeting. But in the meantime, between now and then, if we could get additional quotes, if anybody else wants to quote it, and then we'll make a decision in December.
The company's name was EcoLift, is who I had spoken with. But we can connect, that's not.
Yeah, and I think we need.
Do you have that cost?
No, I've got my email on.
And maybe a little bit more specifics as to approximately how much he thinks he can get done in a day's work.
He said he had no idea, and he couldn't
That's-
even remotely give me an idea. He said sometimes it takes a couple minutes to get it raised up, sometimes it takes an hour.
I want to reiterate the severity of the safety issue that this is presenting. At the same time, I'd like to present, or have somebody make a motion to table this until next meeting, but in the meantime, have Jason get additional quotes and get the accurate quote from Ecolift as well.
I'll make a motion for that.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
I,
Aye. Brings us to Beagle Club.
If you've been out there yesterday or today, you'll see they did start digging and installing the water main. They intend to start on the road itself as soon as that water line is in, which could be a week and a half, 2 weeks is what they're estimating. And my only concern is whether we're gonna be able to get asphalt this fall. I think we'll have the curbs all ready to go, but whether a asphalt plant will still be open at that time. Last year, asphalt plants were open until about second week of December, is what I was told.
So right there where they've got the snow fence, you'll put it, how far back are we going with the curb? Or is the curb going where the existing curb is now?
Yeah, but it goes all the way to the town limits up on Beagle Club.
No, okay, yeah.
Now, some of that curb is up there already from the previous project.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm hoping we get that done this fall with asphalt. It's just gonna depend on whether asphalt plants are still open, whether it's all weather.
Yep.
I mean, worst case, it's gonna be all open and it's just not gonna be as pretty as we'd like it to be.
Okay.
But I'm pretty confident the curbs will be in,
Okay.
but I'd like to see it all done. But the
Likewise.
pipe is going in the ground. We've been waiting on that for 2 months to get that done. North Lafayette, I do not have an update on North Lafayette Street property. That's still in the courts. Hopefully we'll hear something soon. I emailed again today, hoping an update. I did not get anything. The sign inventory, that is the sign inventory grant that we applied for. That's the highway safety program. I did have a meeting with NDOT yesterday morning. No, I take that back, this morning. Today's Tuesday, isn't it? This morning with them about that. They feel pretty confident. If you remember at the last meeting, we said in that contract, it said 2027, where they felt pretty confident they'd move that project up. She is projecting it will be the second half of 2025. So I talked to Kelly about this. We're just gonna keep that in mind. So budget in 2024, we're gonna keep that in mind as a project for 2025. But we have to come up with hydrant flushing is complete. I updated the last meeting, but we still had a couple little areas. We did get those areas completed. Took a little longer than we anticipated, just because we kind of pull off and do different projects on those Tuesdays and Wednesdays. That we were trying to stay consistent with Tuesday and Wednesday, so people were a little more familiar with that. And they might avoid pushing their clothes and taking showers on those days, or at least while we were flushing.
By the way, I just want to say, like, the text message alerts for that, big fan.
I'm really honestly surprised, had very, very little response to any of that, or at least negative response. Most everyone I heard from was pretty positive, but no serious issues that came out of it. It did surprise me. Stormwater project, I'm anticipating this construction to start after the first of the year. I did talk to HWC about that today, and we're gonna meet, hopefully, maybe even next week, with them to go over the plans, because we've not seen any of the plans yet. The engineer is still kind of in process, but they've got it pretty well designed, but all the survey work is all done, so just a little design that they're gonna go over with probably Richard and Brad, make sure everything looks okay, but we do have one little potential change that we may be adding to the project behind the downtown buildings on the northeast quadrant. So we'll see how that plays out if the money's there to do that as well. So that's kind of work in project progress. And I believe that is all I have. I can answer any questions anyone may have.
Nothing else to add? Anything for Jason, guys? Okay. Kelly?
Your monthly reports are in your packet. Everything's looking good. The budget season's kind of winding down for us. There will be we'll need to tweak a few things in December just to move some money around to different areas where we spent a little extra in a certain area, but we had extra in others. So in December, we'll have a resolution to fix that, but everything looks pretty good.
All right, this brings us to ordinance 2023-8. This is a second reading on the Okra Grant Fund. No questions? Looking for a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can you just read those until I'm done through this entire list? They're all gonna come your way, just say no to them if you don't mind. Ordinance 2023-9, this salary was put on hold from the salary ordinance was put on hold from last meeting, so this will be the first reading this meeting. If there are no questions, looking for a motion?
Motion.
Okay. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. This brings us to ordinance 2023-10, authorization to make advance payments. This is a second reading. If there are no questions, somebody like to make a motion?
Motion.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And this brings us to ordinance 2023-12. This is the water rate clarification. First reading was last month. So this will be the second reading if there are no questions. Looking for a motion?
Motion.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And as mentioned last meeting as well, the park board received a grant. So this is ordinance 2023-14, first reading for this grant. If there are no questions, looking for a motion for approval.
Motion.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Resolution 2023-17, this is the water meter deposit transfer. If there are no questions, somebody like to make a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. This brings us to resolution 2023-18. This is reaffirming voting districts. If there are no questions on this, would somebody like to make a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. This brings us to resolution 2023-19, approve amended EDA. If there are no questions on this one, would somebody like to make a motion?
Motion.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And resolution 2023-20, this is utility write-offs. If there are no questions, would somebody like to make a motion?
Motion.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Okay, this brings us to old business. Last month we heard from or we received HWC's concept bid. Council members, in your package, you should have both bids at this point, one from HWC and one from United. Again, this is in reference to Town Hall parking lot and the work that we want to do. This is solely just to contract them for planning purposes and the work to be done. Does anybody have any questions related to either quote? If not, I would ask the council to consider moving forward with one of these firms, and we make that known tonight.
So I'm gonna just go ahead and, I guess, speak my opinion. I know United's just a little bit more money. She has put in the legwork to come and earn our business. I personally have not been impressed with HWC the last couple jobs that we've done. And so it would be my motion to go ahead with the roughly $500 more and go with United.
Does anybody have any other comments, questions? If not, does somebody want to second Bryce's motion?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. This is gonna take a few minutes, so please bear with us, or me.
First time.
Huh?
First time.
Yeah. Town boards, obviously the end of the year is coming, and we have, a lot of terms expiring at the end of December. Excuse me, so, we're gonna run down the list. If anybody is in the audience, and I say your name and you are wanting to renew your term, please stop me, so we can get that position filled. If not, I'm gonna try to get through to this as quickly as possible, and hope by next meeting, the positions that need to be filled will be filled. So Park Board, Kenny Flinchman, his term expires 12/31 of 2023. Is Kenny here?
He reached out to me and he said he is willing to serve another term.
Okay. That is done via council vote. Would somebody like to make a motion on that?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, zoning. First up, we have Barb J. Her term expires 12/31/2023. I did speak to Greg before this meeting. That is a president appoint. And Greg, with your permission, I would like to reappoint Barb J.
I confirmed with her just prior to the meeting, she's willing to serve another term.
Perfect. So that takes care of that. And for the record, we still have an open position. For the zoning board, this term will expire 12/31 of 2025. That is approved by the zoning committee. So if you have any questions or you're interested, please reach out to Barb or Kelly, and they will be happy to answer those questions for you. This brings us to Planning Commission. Justin is not here tonight. His term expires 12/31 of 2023. Has anyone heard from Justin?
Yes, he told me he wanted to serve another term as well.
He is. Perfect. That is confirmed by President appoints. So we will acknowledge that. He is renewing his term. This brings us up to Greg J. His term expires 12/31 of 2023. Greg, would you like to renew your term?
I will.
Okay, this is done via council. Motion for that?
Motion.
Thank you. Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Greg. No. Redevelopment Authority. David Fish, Scott Bailey, John Bailey. All three terms expire on 12/31 of 2023. Has anyone heard from David Fish?
David Fish and John Bailey both said they would be willing to serve another term. Scott Bailey declined.
Okay, these are all done via president appoint, so I'd like to reappoint David Fish and John Bailey. If somebody in the audience is interested or knows somebody on joining the redevelopment authority, please reach out to myself or Kelly. Brings us to redevelopment commission. David Fish, Brian Manners, Scott Bailey, Larry Fiddler, Scott Wall. All terms expire on 12/31/2023. I'm going to start with David Fish. Has anyone heard from him in regards to this position?
Yes, and he's willing to serve another term.
Brian?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Scott Bailey?
No, he's not willing to serve.
Regards, I'm sorry.
So, if you would like.
So you're putting in for the replacement of Scott Bailey?
Yep.
Okay, those three positions are president appoint, so I would like to appoint David Fish, Brian Manners, Bryce Howe, okay, Larry Fiddler, again, term expires 12/31/2023. Would you like to renew?
Yes.
Okay. That is a council appoint. Is there a motion on that?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye. And Scott Wall, term expires 12/31/2023. He's shaking his head yes for renewal. That is a council appoint. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, this brings us to stormwater. Bob Anderson, his term expires 12/31/2023. Is Bob in the audience? If not, have we heard from
I
Bob?
have not heard from him.
Anybody? Jason? No? Putnam County Visitors Bureau. I'm checking my phone for messages, I apologize. We have Steve Foudy and Kathy Morgan, both terms expire 12/31/2023. I know, Steve chose not to renew his term. And I was checking my messages for Kathy Morgan, I sent her one. I haven't heard back from her yet, so we know for sure that we're gonna need to replace Steve Foudy. If anybody is interested in the audience or knows of somebody, please reach out to myself or Kelly.
I'm interested.
Okay,
Kathy has reached out to me and she is willing to serve another term.
I knew, you could ask me to, but it's okay.
well, perfect. This is a council appoint to appoint Bryce Howe and renew Kathy Morgan. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. She's gonna read my message and be like, talk to everybody.
I said everyone too.
Aye.
You think you're both nuts.
Is she wrong?
Okay, so that should conclude as of this meeting, town boards. Okay, new business, farm ground rental bid opening. Mr. Stillwell, would you like to open that and read us what we got?
farm rent bid on 7 acres tillable. We bid $141 per acre for annual total of 7 acres of $987.00. Courtney Mann, White Oak Farms Partnership.
Let the record show that that is the only bid received, correct? Okay. Is there a motion to move forward with White Oak Farms?
So Luke.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And this brings us to voice software addendum.
Let me fix one.
Yeah, please.
All right. If I'm understanding correctly, this addendum changes the language to auto renew. This is the software that we use for all of our accounting purposes. It auto renews annually for up to 5 years instead of a new contract every year like we've been doing.
So the auto renews, do we have any control over pricing, or they just handle it?
It doesn't say, so I'm assuming, I don't know.
What's the termination language say in the original agreement?
On the original,
Because I don't remember seeing it. Is it in the addendum?
this is what we received.
This is in the packet, right?
Yes, it is.
From what I see, it looks like anything on termination.
I didn't think I saw it today either. I'd like to make sure we have ability to get out of the contract quickly if need be, but this is the only show in town, right? There's not many other people who do this.
There's no law. No.
Yeah. So could we approve this pending my review?
I will make a motion to approve it pending council review, but I also want to make sure, you know, we have a cost, and also we have a way to get out, because if this year we're at 1,000, then also next year we go to 5, like, I'm not good with that.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Bless
there.
you.
So I'd make a motion to approve it being council review, granted,
Focus on
council gets cost.
Yeah.
Are there any other questions? If not, does somebody want to second Bryce's motion?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Stardust, HOA? Nothing, sir? Before I open it up to the public, council members, we still have, once I adjourn this meeting, we have papers to sign, so please hang tight until we get everything signed. At this time, we'll open it up to the public for questions.
I would like to have a round of applause for the town board members that were elected, re-elected last Tuesday.
And clerk treasurer. And clerk treasurer.
I kept trying to find a button under mine that I could hit the name.
Are there any other comments or questions?
Mr. President, I was just gonna say, I did email that quote to you, so all the members have that, so I apologize that
Thank you.
I thought I'd sent that earlier. And if you wanna know what it is, it's $2,500 for a day.
Per day.
Correct.
And that is from EcoLift, right?
That's what
That's for the slab jack.
Yeah, slab
Yeah,
jack. It's called
from
Eco-Lift.
EcoLift.
It's $10 per pound. He thought he could do probably $2,500 worth of it in a day.
I will just say there's a guy in Greencastle, and I only know this because he's got the same last name as me, and he reached out to us at the arena. It's called Howell Slab.
I emailed him and called him, never got a
Okay,
response.
fair enough.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Lauren with United, I just want to say thank you guys for being open to the opportunity and giving us a chance.
Lauren, you put in the legwork, no doubt, and appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
Anybody else? Okay. Let's call this meeting adjourned. again, just sit tight.
I know.